Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Their prayer this morning will be offered by the good delegate representing Baltimore County.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Please assume posture you prefer for prayer, reflection, or meditation. Let us take a moment to express our gratitude for the many things we have. Each of us today, when we leave this place, will have somewhere warm to sleep, food in our stomachs, and those we love around us. We have the ability to try to make this true for so many. Let us do everything in our power to help others have these basic comforts, in addition to fulfilling lives. Amen.
Quorum call.
Madam Speaker.
Has everyone recorded their presence? Well, I suggest that you do. If so, the clerk will take the call. There being 129 members present, the House is now in session. The clerk will read the journal from the previous day.
Annapolis, Maryland, January the 15th, 2025.
Recognizing the majority leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. So much be considered the reading of the journal.
So ordered. Petition, memorials, and other papers. Consent calendar of introductory House bills, number 12. The clerk will read the first bill.
House Bill 353, Delegate Grammer, Judiciary.
Recognizing the majority leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. So much be considered the reading of House Bill 353 through 403.
Hearing no objection, the bills are read the first time and referred to the appropriate committees. Consent calendar of introductory House bills, number 13. The clerk will read the first bill.
House Bill 404, Prince George's County Delegation, Ways and Means.
Recognizing the majority leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. So much be considered the reading of House Bills 404 through 454.
Hearing no objection, the bills are read for the first time and referred to the appropriate committees. The clerk will read the bond initiatives and the committee assignment.
Introductory House Bond Initiatives number 4, January 16th, 2025. Referred to appropriations.
Okay. That ends the work at the desk. Committee announcements, appropriations.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The full committee will not meet today, but listen for subcommittee announcements.
Judiciary.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House Judiciary Committee will have a briefing today at 11 o'clock.
Environment and Transportation.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Good morning. The House Environment and Transportation Committee will have a briefing at 1 o'clock on the State of Maryland's Vision Zero safety goals.
Ways and Means.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Ways and Means Committee will meet at 1 p.m. for a briefing by the Department of Commerce.
Economic Matters.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The House Economic Matters Committee will have briefings at 11 a.m. and 1:30 p.m.
Okay. Health and Government Operations.
Good morning, Madam Speaker and colleagues. Guess what? The Health and Government Operations Committee will not be meeting today.
Are there any subcommittee announcements? Yes. Delegate from Montgomery.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Early Childhood Subcommittee will have a briefing on Zoom at 11 a.m. today.
Any other subcommittee? Gentlelady from Baltimore City.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Education and Economic Development Subcommittee of Appropriations will also have a briefing with the Early Childhood Education Committee at 11 a.m. on Zoom.
Any other subcommittee? Okay. Any delegation announcements? Who got up first? Gentlelady from Prince George's.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Prince George's County House delegation will meet tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. via Zoom. That'll be promptly at 9 a.m. via Zoom.
Delegate from Frederick.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Frederick County delegation will meet tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. via Zoom.
Any other delegation? Delegate representing Charles.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Charles County delegation will meet tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. via Zoom. Thank you.
Oh, okay. What'd you say? I see. The delegate representing Baltimore County.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Baltimore County delegation will meet at 9 a.m. on Zoom tomorrow morning.
Gentleman from Anne Arundel.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Anne Arundel County's House delegation will meet on Zoom at 8:30 tomorrow. Thank you.
Gentlelady from Montgomery.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Montgomery County House delegation will meet tomorrow at 9:30 on Zoom.
Okay. Delegate from Carroll.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Carroll County delegation will meet tomorrow at 11 a.m. via Zoom. Thank you.
Gentleman from the Eastern Shore.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Eastern Shore delegation will meet tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. on Zoom.
Okay. Are there any caucus announcements? Delegate from Frederick.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Colleagues, just a quick reminder that tomorrow is the first deadline for the LGBTQ plus caucus endorsements. So if you can submit your endorsement request for your bills by 5 p.m. tomorrow. In addition, the Transit Caucus first deadline is also tomorrow for bill endorsements for the Transit Caucus, if you have any bills. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker.
Okay. Delegate from Montgomery.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Good morning. Good morning, colleagues. The House Democratic Caucus will be meeting on Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. in the Prince George's County Delegation Room. Thank you.
Any other delegation delegate representing Montgomery.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Since we'll be pro forma tomorrow, I would like to remind the Legislative Black Caucus of Maryland members that we will hold our annual Martin Luther King Jr. Day commemoration on Monday, which is January 20th at 5 p.m. It will start at the Benjamin Banneker Douglas Tubman Museum on Monday. And we do invite all of our colleagues to join us for a very special Monday morning. We know there'll be a lot going on, and please feel free to join us Monday evening in community. Thank you.
Gentleman from the Eastern Shore.
Thank you again, Madam Speaker. The Waterman's Caucus will be meeting Monday, 6 p.m. on Zoom.
Forgot.
Gentleman from Prince George's.
Actually, appropriations, Madam Speaker, I forgot. We have pro forma tomorrow, Monday. The Appropriations Committee will meet at 3 p.m. for a fiscal briefing.
Okay.
Thank you.
Glad you clarified that. So, Gentleman from Cecil.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Just a reminder today for the Sportsman's Caucus. We have a luncheon for all of you and your staff. You're welcome to join us at Harry Brown's from now until 1:30. I hope to see you all there and speak to sportsmen's issues and things impacting the DNR. Thanks.
Gentleman from Western Maryland.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I just want to remind everybody that tonight is the Allegheny Garrett County Pace Reception at the Westin at 1800. For my Marine Corps friends, that's the big hand on 12, little hand on the 6. So we get that straightened out. There's also the Pace Breakfast tomorrow morning at 0800 at the Westin. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Delegate from Anne Arundel.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. On Monday, we will have the Fire and EMS Coalition, which will meet at 2 p.m. in the Neal Conference Room on the second floor in the James Building of the Senate. 2 p.m. on Monday, the Fire and EMS Coalition. Thank you.
Okay, you're quite welcome. Delegate from Prince George's.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to remind Madam Speaker, sorry. For individuals who would like to submit legislation to the Latino Caucus, please try to submit it today because we will be meeting tomorrow to review legislation at 1 o'clock. Thank you.
Gentlelady from Montgomery.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. On behalf of the District 20 team, it is my pleasure to introduce the Doctor of the Day. Dr. Catherine Kelly, MD, is a Doctor of Internal Medicine from District 20. Please join me in welcoming her.
All right. Are there any other personal or guest announcements? Gentleman from Frederick.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Permission to use the delegate's name?
Permission granted.
So colleagues, please join me in wishing a very, very happy birthday to our tallest member of the Republican caucus, Todd Morgan.
Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Colleagues, I have two quick announcements. Just a quick reminder, this Monday is not pro forma. We are in person, 8 o'clock on Monday for Martin Luther King Day and all of the celebration. In person, Monday at 8 p.m. Second announcement, from 10, so now, till noon today, you will have the opportunity to sign the governor's bills upstairs in the reception room. So until noon today, upstairs on the second floor, you can sign the governor's bills. Thank you.
Gentlelady from Prince George's.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Colleagues, I would like to introduce you to the Chesapeake Physicians for Social Responsibility, an organization committed to addressing urgent challenges that pose existential threats to our planet and our humanity. With over 900 members across Maryland, their focus is on tackling the climate crisis and advocating for the abolition of nuclear weapons. They are visiting with us here today for their annual Advocacy Day. You can see them back there in the gallery. And they'll be visiting your offices to discuss their legislative priorities. Please join me in welcoming these dedicated professionals whose motto is, "We must prevent what we cannot cure." And your support is critical to their important work. Thank you.
Gentlelady from Prince George's.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Good morning, colleagues. Permission to use a delegate's name, Madam Speaker.
Permission granted.
Thank you so much. I would like to wish a happy birthday, whose birthday is tomorrow, to a human being that when she enters a room, she lights up a room. She is beautiful. You could see her soul. She works hard, and it's really, I love her so much. Delegate Heather Bagnall, happy birthday to you.
Majority Whip.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Colleagues, as you can see, I'm rocking that burgundy and gold right now. But if you do not rock the burgundy and gold, permission to use the delegate's name, Madam Speaker?
Permission granted.
I ask my colleague, Delegate Luke Clippinger, to stand. And if you rock that purple and black and white.
Will the gentleman yield for a question?
Absolutely.
I believe that the Ravens and the Commanders played earlier this year. Is that correct?
That did occur.
That did occur. And which team won that game?
I'm not aware of the outcome of that. I'm just aware of who has
You
more
need to
Super
call
Bowls.
a friend, or is it? But I think that I would just say I don't think it matters.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it matters because a team from Maryland is going to win the Super Bowl this year.
Madam Speaker, I concur. Best of luck to the Ravens and the Commanders this weekend.
Gentlelady from Baltimore County.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Go Ravens. I was hoping the parliamentarian could rise to answer a question for me.
Certainly.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We had a little bit of discussion earlier this week about the pro forma sessions.
Yes.
And we had asked to have that reconsidered. And I got my rule book out. You all know I like the rule book. And on page 15, it talks about pro forma sessions. Yes. And it says the speaker may call the House into a pro forma session unless objected to by a majority of the House. So I would like to know, would it be appropriate right now for me to call a roll call vote on the majority, or should I wait until the majority leader stands up to announce the pro forma session?
Yeah, you can do that whatever you want. I mean, as we all know, I just want to help people to understand where we are. So under Article 3 of the Constitution, Section 19, every chamber can make rules that govern how they function. And on the first day of session, we all voted unanimously by voice consent for the rules that give rise to the pro forma sessions that we are experiencing today. And
yes.
Pursuant to the rule book, 5A, yes, those pro forma sessions can be challenged only with the support of the majority.
Correct. So thank you.
I wish you luck.
I make a motion, Madam Speaker. I'd like to make a motion that we do not go into pro forma session because the people of the great state of Maryland have sent us here for 90 days to do that work. And so it is with objection that I stand to ask, Madam Speaker, for a roll call on that motion. Madam Speaker, I think I've been advised to make this motion at the end.
Yes, that's a preferable.
Okay, thank you. I hope the majority leader will give me that opportunity when he makes the announcements. Thank you.
He is aware of that. We do talk to each other. Okay. Any additional announcements? Wait a minute, we got one. Yes, gentleman from Baltimore County.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. District 44A is a tiny district, but it's mighty, and three of my constituents are sitting in the front row up there today. We have Claire O'Donnell, we have Pakiza Awan, and also I'm proud that he's in my district, the Vice Chair of the Baltimore County Democratic Central Committee, John Stanek. Thank you all for being here.
They don't want to stand up. Any other announcements? Okay. Seeing and hearing none, quorum call.
Madam Speaker?
Okay. I got a call.
Have a quorum call, and then you got to take the quorum call back.
Has everyone recorded their presence? So the clerk will take the call. There being 135 members present, the House is still in session, recognizing the majority leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Colleagues, though I know you will all be very hard at work over the next 24 hours beyond and during this weekend, as you are for the residents and citizens of Maryland every session, I nevertheless move that the House stand adjourned until Friday, January 17th at 11 a.m. for a pro forma session.
Madam Speaker.
Yes.
Thank you for recognizing me. Again, I think the pro forma session has a place in the body, but I do not think that we should be in pro forma session for the next 3 weeks and working a 3-day work week. So for that, I would like to make a motion that we do not have a pro forma session and that we all come to Annapolis tomorrow to do the work that the people sent us to do.
Madam Speaker. What we're doing, we're taking a vote on a motion to adjourn for pro forma. Okay?
Madam Speaker.
Green vote supports adjournment to pro forma, and
Madam
red
Speaker.
does not. Yeah, I was going to finish what I was talking about before you jumped over. Okay?
Understood.
Roll call on the motion to adjourn pro forma. Clerk, take the call.
Madam Speaker.
Green is for adjournment for pro forma, a red is not.
Madam Speaker.
Gentleman from Baltimore County.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Very briefly to explain my vote. We did adopt the rules that we had adopted in the previous session, but I think we did so not understanding that the body would be in pro forma for such a large chunk of the session. And I think not only it's a little bit harder for us to do a lot of the legwork necessary to lobby for the things important to our district, but Annapolis isn't the most accessible place. And for us to bring average citizens here to Annapolis, it's least accessible for the average person. So I think we should resume normal operations and be present for as much as possible and as long as possible so that the average people can participate. I don't think a time frame, the reality is we're clocking out at 10:22. Many of us are going to be going home after this, and people like me, I don't know when I can bring average folks down here to speak with the legislature. So respectfully, I think we should do what's right for the people of all of our districts and resume normal operations. Thank you.
Parliamentarian.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I again want to fully explain that the rules governing this chamber were adopted on January 8th, so not last session, but the session that we find ourselves in currently. I also want to make it clear that the work of the people that we do, we actually do it 365 days a year, not only when we're in session, but also in the interim. I would submit we would not be adequately prepared for session if we began doing the work of the people until we arrived in January. Furthermore, nothing precludes you from finding ways to connect with your constituents in ways that were not available 100 years ago. If anything, the pandemic has assured us that there's myriad ways that we can connect with our constituents. And in fact, I personally would never want to limit the creativity of all of you and how you do so. So I would submit that most of us see that there is work to be done. Many of us will be joining briefings in just over 30 minutes. And if you would like to connect with your constituents, they can hit your DMs, they can email you, they can talk to you by phone, Zoom, Teams. There's a lot of ways people can reach you if you want to be reached. So I suggest everyone connect with their constituents at will, continue to do the work, because just because someone says the work only happens in here, that is more of a reflection of their perception of the work than the reality of yours. Thank you.
Young lady from Baltimore County.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. To explain my vote, I voted green for this. Just because we are not here in the chamber, as the parliamentarian said, does not mean we are not serving our constituents. Any member of this body is free to be here on Mondays and Fridays, as I am every Monday and Friday, whether we have pro forma or regular session. I will not be here tomorrow because I have to go home to prepare for my mom's funeral. But I also appreciate and am grateful that I don't have to be here when there's not business that I need to consider, because it gives me more time to serve my constituents. Thank you.
Gentleman from Baltimore County.
Madam Speaker, thank you. To explain my vote, look, colleagues, I go home every night. There's probably maybe no one in the chamber that doesn't benefit more from pro forma sessions than myself. And so I had to think long and hard. I prayed about this quite a bit, actually. I've got a small army of children, as many of you might know. So I go home every night to be with them and take them to school. But I thought about it. I just have to be able to go home to my district, a very working class, blue collar district like most of us represent here, and explain to them that I'm doing everything I can. And this is not to impugn anyone's motives or not to say that we're all not working hard when we're not here. We all are. But I think the right message, particularly in this tough time that we have right now, right? I mean, we're going to have to make some serious cuts and potentially some serious tax increases here. I think the right optics and the right message to our constituents is to be here every day that we can during the 90 days. Now, I understand there's a place for some pro forma sessions, as the gentlelady from Baltimore County said. I'm not disputing that. But I just think that the optics are not good right now, given the serious situation that we have in the state with our budget. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Madam Speaker.
Gentleman from Prince George.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise to explain my vote and in support of Madam Parliamentarian's discussion about us working 365 days per year. Most of you have called my office to support the discussions in your districts. I have held meetings all across the state, not during session, but during the off session, to support the discussions of a lot of your members across the state. We do work year round. And Madam Speaker and Madam Parliamentarian, I do support the votes up on the board. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Gentleman from Baltimore County.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'd like to stand here and explain my vote. I, too, commute back and forth every day, and it does benefit me to stay home and work at home. I do work at home. One of the things I like to bring up is that the deficit we have right now, that I think that should be the #1 priority that we're working on. Marylanders are strapped when it comes to cash, and we need to work on that. That's the first and most thing we should work on, is how to balance this budget and not have to raise taxes. And if you want to bring us in here 4 days a week, 5 days a week, I'll be more than glad to come in here if we can work on this budget. Thank you.
Young lady from Howard.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'd like to explain my vote. First of all, I think it's really important that I be clear with my constituents that the work that's done here, we understand it, and we're not just trying to send false messages. That we were called in today, we submitted bills. There's not any more work to do on the floor. And to pretend that by going to pro forma we're not doing work on the floor, because that's the message we want to send falsely to our constituents, I think is atrocious. We will be in here until late nights when there is actually business to be performed on the floor. And until that time, I applaud the decision of this body on the 8th to go into pro forma session when our business on the floor is not necessary, so that we can do the business that we need to do in our offices and in our districts. Thank you.
Madam Speaker.
Madam Speaker. Delegate from Howard.
From Hartford, thank you. Move the previous.
Can't do it. There is no question. It's an open vote. The clerk will take the call. The motion to adjourn pro forma passes. See you all on Monday.